So I saw the video that Bad Baby put up, and she was very upset and sad about, and at her wits' end about the situation with her baby daddy. And when I see videos like that, it breaks my heart because I remember being her. This is why I come on and tell my story, and I don't judge it because we've all been there. One of the things that really struck me to my core was when she said, I tried so hard to understand this man. I tried so hard to be understood. I tried so hard to love him. And none of that is good enough. And all I could think is if I was her, like if I was, not if I was her, I was her. If I was around her, if I knew her, I would first and foremost give her the biggest hug. And then I would tell her what everybody clearly around her has not told her and no one has taught her. And that is that you cannot love somebody into loving you. I know because I tried. I'm trying real hard not to get emotional because it's something that still strikes a nerve for me. But I think all the way back to when that little girl first went viral and they made a spectacle out of that child instead of getting her help and assistance. And she created a job and a career for her and her mother off of her hurt and her degeneracy. Whatever relationship that her and her mother has clearly has manifested into this relationship with that boy. And I say that because her mother, I don't know this woman, but if she's anything like mine, her mother put her in a situation to be embarrassed. And yeah, that might have turned into somewhat of a career for her. But look at that baby's life. She started an OnlyFans at 18. She was messing around with rappers that were much older than her as a teenage girl. And no one said anything. Now she's in a situation where she's being verbally assaulted, physically assaulted, publicly embarrassed. He uses this girl for content and not obviously in a positive way. He hates her because he clearly doesn't like himself. And this baby is just screaming out for help. I seen a video of him trying to leave, and she jumped on the car and she was like screaming, crying, begging this man not to leave. And I know it's cliche to say, baby, that's not love. And there's a part of us all that have been in a similar situation that knows that. But I feel like every time that man left her, it triggered an abandonment issue in her. Even if she secretly wanted him to leave because she knew it was safer for her, it brought up abandonment issues for her. I've been there. I had to ask myself when I left my last relationship, why did I hold on to this toxic shit for so long? Why did I allow myself to be abused for so long? Why was it that every time this man mistreated me in any way, shape, or form, why did I try to love him harder? And a lot of that is just purely the fear of abandonment. And I always talk to you guys about my own mom because that's where that came from for me. Was every time I expressed an emotion to my mother, I got verbally assaulted. Every time I even wanted to spend time with my mom, it was a problem. So when people like us get some attention, we try to hold on to that attention or that feeling of even just for a moment feeling special or feeling like somebody gives a shit about you until you heal and learn and do better. And it sucks because she has a daughter, and her daughter is growing up in all of this chaos. That girl went through cancer, and he was still beating her ass through cancer. I got a pain in my chest right here because I just, it makes me personally think back to the things that I went through and the moments where I needed somebody to love, and genuinely care about me, and there was nobody to be found. And this is why I talk about it so much because when I look back, especially on this last relationship, not only was I being abused by him, he allowed the abuse of his family members and the mistreatment of them. Of course, they weren't going to respect me. He didn't. My own mother wasn't there. I remember being in a situation where mentally I was not okay, and everybody says, ask for help. And I called everybody that I knew that I thought I could ask for help, and nobody showed up. Not a single soul. I hope that when she gets through what she's going through, that she goes and she gets some help, and that she realizes that these people aren't attacking you for no reason. People that have been through the things that we have been through, we have a light and a calling on us that we don't see. And they want to beat it out of us so that we don't see it. That's why the minute that even the smallest amount of love is shown by a complete stranger, they get jealous. They get abusive. They get aggressive. I have so many stories. And you guys know, like, I always tell my stories from a place of what I learned. I've never even sat down and just said, hey, huh, let me tell you this, that, and the third. And I'm not protecting anybody's image. I just don't like to relive those things. But that little girl could, well, she's not a little girl anymore, but, she could be, she still has the potential to be so much. But she'll never fully be able to receive what God has for her until she fixes what she has going on the inside so that she can keep these fucking demons away from her. It's one thing to realize when I came to the realization that I was not being loved. Nobody loved me. Everybody was using me. It was a really horrible realization to come through. It was very devastating. It was very depressing. It made me feel the first initial feeling, of course, was like worthlessness until I had to realize, well, no, you got some sort of worth because everybody wants to fucking siphon it out of you. I just pray that her and anybody else like her, because I've been her too, that you do the work necessary, you go get the help that you need before it's too late. I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but I just said it to my bonus son's mom today. I truly believe in my heart of hearts with everything that I was going through and the way that things was escalating that had I not left that relationship, had I stayed and tried to make it work and self-sacrifice, he probably would have gotten rid of me. Towards the end, I would record everything. I would send everything to my best friend. I started to tell the people around me. I stopped being embarrassed and I honestly just started to be fucking like I was scared. And I would tell everybody around me, like, hey, if something happened to me, this is who did it. I don't have no enemies. The only enemies I got is his family members. I don't got no enemies. And I literally used to have to tell that man, if anything happens to me, everybody knows you did it. My best friend has this, that, and the third. So if you try to take my phone or do anything with my phone, my best friend has the backup. It was like that. It was like that. And this is not the first time I had been in a situation like that. And like I said, I had to start asking myself, what is it about me that's not necessarily attracting these people, but feels comfortable or attaches myself to these people? And once I realized that it was my mom and I healed from her, it helped me heal from those other situations so that I no longer end up in them anymore.